While golden retrievers are recognized as incredibly friendly dogs, that doesn't mean they don't ever get a little shy. Such was the case with Lola, a timid dog who feared other large canines. The one dog she knew she could trust was her sister, Skylar. When Skylar went to a new home and Lola moved to England, the expectation was that she'd be timider than ever. Then Lola became transfixed by the dog next door. And it was clear she wasn't just adapting well, she was happier than ever. Keep watching for more on this adorable tale of puppy love. This precious dog with the tongue dangling out of her smiling face is Lola. Above are her parents, Amber Monty and Alex Boothroyd. Amber and Alex are extremely loving parents, so Lola lives a pretty happy life. As kind and gentle as Lola is, she's also a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to other dogs. While she's happy to receive affection from humans, dogs are a different story. Amber told the dodo that Lola becomes shy on walks when another dog is around. Lola especially fears large dogs, which is rather ironic considering she's a good size herself. It's rather touching that she fears dogs her own size because it goes to show that she really does mean no harm. Get ready to meet the one dog Lola loved being around. The dog to the left is Skylar, Lola's sibling, not by breed but by family. Though Lola would normally be afraid of dogs like Sky, she'd grown to trust the sweet dog. The two went together like peas and carrots. Though the dogs didn't come from the same biological parents, their expressions made them look like actual siblings. Since the two dogs have similar demeanors, it was easy for Lola to become trusting of Skylar. Skylar and Lola have been there for one another throughout a lot. Being there through thick and thin made them even more incredible siblings. Just look at this photo of the two dogs on their way back from the veterinary's office. You'd expect a dog wearing a cone to look a little down, but Lola looks happy as ever. Right by her side is Skylar, who's practically shoving her face into Lola's cone to be as close as possible to her sister. One day it was time for Amber and Alex to share some news with the lovable dog siblings. They were going to move into a brand new environment. While Lola could sense that something big was happening, she had no idea what was to come. The move threatened to aggravate Lola's timid nature. At the same time, with all the love she would get from her family, they were confident she'd be just fine. The plan was to relocate to Surrey, England. All the lush green of the area would be a dream for any dog. On top of that, the wide expanses would give Lola the opportunity to run free without feeling surrounded by other dogs. Still, they'd be moving to a suburb. That meant that it was just a matter of time before Lola ran into the neighbors and potentially their dogs who might be large. There was one bit of sad news regarding the move coming up next. As exciting as the move would be, there was one more piece of bad news. Lola's sister and best friend Skylar would no longer be living with her. For whatever reason, the couple decided it was best to have Skylar stay with Alex's mother. Though both dogs would still be receiving loads of love and a good home, it would be strange to be apart. Sure, they'd see one another as often as they could, but it certainly wouldn't be the same. Though all the change would be difficult, Lola took it like a champion. She wore her usual big smile as she embarked on a journey with her family. Together, they'd get through it. Still, no one knew how exactly Lola would handle being in a new home. Would she develop new fears? Would she become even more scared of other dogs? Would she miss Skylar? All these questions would only be answered in time. Lola's sweet demeanor was clear in how she approached other animals. Though she was afraid of large dogs, she still had a gentle curiosity towards other species. More aggressive dogs might want to pounce on things that are smaller than them. Not Lola. She just wanted to look at things and try to understand them. Perhaps that's why she was so timid. She just wanted to understand others, that she knew she could trust them. Once the family was settled into their new home, something odd happened. Lola wasn't terrified, but she did seem transfixed. She would go to the back window and stare out it for long periods of time. The home had a yard, so she could easily go outside. It seemed that she was scoping out the area for something. She could have been getting used to her surroundings or looking for a bunny or another animal. The home they moved to had a wooden fence separating it from the next home over. It became gradually obvious that whatever was on the other side of that fence was the object of Lola's attention. In time, Amber and Alex got to know their neighbors. That's when they discovered what had been causing Lola to act so differently. There was something on the other side of that fence that wasn't scaring Lola, but rather was intriguing her. Now let's see what or who was on the other side of the fence. The one responsible for Lola's trance-like state was the dog next door. It was a Staffordshire Terrier named Loki. you may notice that Loki looks something like a pit bull. That's because pit bulls don't actually exist. According to the dog people, a pit bull is a catch-all phrase for a variety of similar-looking breeds, including the Staffordshire Terrier. Loki's breed is one of the smaller ones in the family, which was great news for Lola. The dogs began gazing at one another throughout the day. Lola would perch up on the window and look for Loki, who would hop up as high as he could to catch a glance of Lola. Seeing them like that was so precious. You'd think someone told them to pose that way. Their connection was real, and anyone could see that. The owners quickly understood that these dogs needed to meet, especially since Lola didn't seem shy around this dog at all. As expected, the dogs hit it off right from the start. Lola was more outgoing than ever, and Loki was all over Lola. The two were hopping all over the place and messing with one another like puppies. While we know that dogs can form a deep connection with humans, we sometimes forget that they can also form deep connections with one another. Just think about how we use the term puppy love to describe young human beings together, not dogs. Amber told the dodo that Loki started jumping to see over the fence in case Lola was out. Things got even cuter when the dog began hopping the fence to see Lola. Amber would look out the window and see sweet Loki in the garden, patiently waiting for Lola. Loki's trespassing has happened numerous times, but the pet owners couldn't get upset over true love. If anything, seeing Loki's happy face was a reminder that Lola wasn't alone after all. Loki wasn't the only one showing his enthusiasm for Lola. The golden retriever began sitting by the back door and whining to go outside. Once they'd let her out, she'd immediately look over the fence for Loki. If he wasn't out, Lola would sit and wait next to the fence for him. Since Lola hadn't lived next to dogs in the past, she was excited to have a friend she could see every day, which was odd since she often feared other dogs. At first, Lola and Loki's owners just thought that their dogs were getting to know one another. When the excitement didn't wear off and only grew, they realized that the connection was more than just a momentary thrill. Lola's parents couldn't be more pleased at how the move to Surrey turned out. Not only is their precious dog happy as ever, but it's all because of her unexpected companion, Loki.